This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
Powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
Isn't it incredible what a first concert can mean to you? Like, sure, maybe it's just another milestone. It's something cool you did with your parents. Like for me, 1981, living in Kitimat, BC at the time, my mom had a pretty decent mix of music as a kid growing up on the record player. Everything from Bob Seger to Fleetwood Mac and Wings and ABBA, the Eagles, my first concert band, Dr. Hook. I wouldn't go so far as to say, like, that concert is why I traveled down the broadcast path. 20 years in radio, coming up on 10 years podcasting. But I will say it certainly didn't hurt going. Played their tunes on the drive to the local arena in Kitimat. I'd heard them a ton, of course. And now I was going to go see these guys live. Cool. I can vividly recall the excitement of going and the energy, the anticipation of everything. It left a mark. Parked in the shopping mall parking lot next door to the arena. Smelled weed on the walk up, and it was popcorn and electricity once we got inside, and from there I was basically hooked. And for some people, that first concert is the reason they're in a band, why they're drawn to create music for us. And this week, you will hear stories from 12 guests in total in music, sports, entertainment, as we do since our launch in January 2015. My name is Todd Hancock. Hello, and welcome to our trip down memory lane. You could call it a nostalgic journey through the unforgettable world of music and first concerts. Coming up shortly, and stop me if you've heard this before, Detroit Lions defensive tackle Christian Covington talks about self-sacrifice in order to grow, and talk to anyone who's had the pinnacle of success, regardless of what it is. Sacrifice will be that common thread. That is powered by our good friends at FKP MMA. Learn self-defense, build your self-esteem, meet new friends, get fit doing it. My little guy Levi goes a couple times a week now for the last year and a half, maybe coming up on 2 years now. Big fan. Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com. First, let's get to some first concert stories from a handful of our musical guests from over the years. You've known about 311 since 1988 from Omaha, Nebraska. They're 13 or is it 14 albums in now? 2 live albums, 4 compilation discs, 4 EPs, and 4 DVDs. They've had songs on the top of the Billboard Hot Modern Rock Tracks, platinum, gold albums, over 10 million sold. And their bassist Peanut was a guest a couple of years back.
First show that I saw was the Red Hot Chili Peppers too.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers in this, we didn't even really know how cool it was while it was going on, but it was a bowling alley, a radio station, an arcade, a gig. You could play volleyball in the back. Of course, it was a bar. It was 5 bars. It was all those things put together, and it was just amazing. We would go hang out at the Ranch Bowl just to go play pinball, and the Terminator 2 machine especially, and the Addams Family when that was out, and just. It was just so much fun. So yeah, I went there when I guess I was 15, and it was like winter, and it was snowing, and there was a blizzard, and I got pulled out of the concert. I got horse collared out of my first show by my brother on a command from my mom and my stepdad to kind of drag us out of there before I got stuck there, which would have been fucking awesome. Get stuck
totally
at
right.
Club with the Chili Peppers when they were like just coming up. God, it was John Frusciante's first tour. I remember he was 18 and he proceeded to moon the audience after someone was giving him some shit. He dropped his pants and turned his ass to the crowd, and I was like, oh man.
Wow. And so that wouldn't have been Chad Smith. That would have been like Jack Irons. I
think it was Jack Irons still. Yeah. I honestly, I don't. Yeah, it definitely wasn't Chad.
We'll go from 311's bassist to former Slayer drummer Dave Lombardo. He played on 9 of their albums. Of course, Dave's known for more than Slayer: Suicidal Tendencies, Dead Cross, Mr. Bungle, The Misfits. Without a doubt, one of the best thrash drummers all time. Drummer World named him the godfather of double bass. And when Dave was a guest, he talked about his first concert.
Well, I was in 9th grade, so about 14. 15. Mm-hmm. I think maybe about 14, where I was, I went to Ted Nugent.
Wow.
Scorpions were opening up for Ted Nugent at the Los Angeles Sports Arena. And so I went to that concert. And then after that, I think I went to Judas Priest and Dio. And then I started getting, I saw AC/DC for those about to rock. And then my taste and interest in music changed, and I started getting into punk. I got to see GBH. I got to see the UK Subs. I just got into punk in general.
So from one of thrash metal's best drummers to the singer of I Don't Know How, But They Found Me, Dallon Weekes. Now here's a band formed in 2016, Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a duo. It's Dallon and his longtime drummer friend, Ryan Seaman. Now Dallon at one point was in Panic at the Disco. Ryan was in Falling in Reverse.
I think it was Counting Crows in 1994.
So that would have been right at the heart of Around Here and Mr. Jones. And
I think it was before Around Here, but I think the single at the time was Long December, like in that era. I'm not sure what record that was.
I think that might be the same one, isn't it? August and Everything After?
It could be. I've sort of fallen off the wagon. I still love Counting Crows, and I love all that old stuff.
Great band. I mean, arguably one of the, I put those guys in the same category as like a Hootie and the Blowfish that were absolutely freaking massive, but have kind of fallen off the wayside.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're all, doing their own thing and are happy to be, have had the career that they've had. I certainly would be if I were them.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. I mean, they could probably fire it up again and play 1,000-seaters in a pre-COVID world, no problem.
They did that live double album in the 90s that was really, really great too. I still spin that song, Chelsea. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one.
Yes.
And from the singer of I Don't Know How, But They Found Me, to Canadian singer-songwriter Serena Ryder. Born in Toronto in 1982, grew up in Millbrook, Ontario. You first saw Serena burst onto the scene in 2007. Her song Weak in the Knees was a huge Canadian hit. 8 studio albums, massive world tours, 7 Juno Award wins.
Teenager?
Tragically Hip was my first concert at Canada's Wonderland.
Nice.
Yeah.
What stands out from that still?
The smell of ganja.
Of course.
Just so much. I was like, "What's that?"
Is that?
Like, it's nothing.
Yeah. Tragically Hip first show. And so, how old were you for that?
11.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first concert.
Red Truck Beer. You never forget your first truck. Official beer of the Toddcast podcast.
Standing by my door, looking for my woman. I'm wondering where she's gone, where the rain is cold tonight. Yeah, I know she's one in someone else's arms. Well, do we play these games? She gets off while I'm ashamed. I gotta get away. And maybe I'm to blame for getting wrapped up in her chain. I gotta run away. She's got me like a fly. She's eating me alive. Like widow whip is spinning, and her cold breath is chilling. I'm begging for you, please let me out, let me out. I'm begging for you, please let me out, let me out. Got me in a rush after just one touch. I'm begging for you, please let me out, let me out.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
Did you know Detroit Lions defensive tackle Christian Covington was born in Vancouver? Football has always been in his life. His dad, Grover Covington, is a member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. He grew up around it, and you shouldn't be surprised to learn that Christian crushed at the high school level, clobbered in college as well. In 2012, played for the Rice. Christian played 12 games, 43 tackles, 5 sacks. 2013, named first team All-Star USA. The kid has 59 tackles and 4 sacks. He was drafted by the Houston Texans in 2015, 6th round, 216th overall, had 4 solid years with them. Then it was over to the Cowboys, then the Broncos, Bengals, Chargers, and in May of this year, he signed with the Detroit Lions. And stop me if you've heard this before, Christian talked about the importance of self-sacrifice to accomplish your dreams and goals.
Whatever you put your heart into being, that's what you're eventually going to do.
Right.
With me, it was my passion with football and the sacrifice that I was willing to do in order to accomplish my dreams. And that's something that I always take the time to be able to tell people.
Right.
Whenever I'm back home or whenever I'm around, the youth down in Texas with the many kids I've been able to be around and associate with, my one word that I always bring up is sacrifice. That's my special word. That's my S word.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, that's all I had. That's the only thing that was able to give me the edge to outplay guys in BC. That was what gave me the edge to outplay people, when I was at Vancouver College, when I went down to Rice, and eventually when I got drafted to Houston, now that I'm playing in Dallas. It's something that it's going to continue to drive me and, stay with me and be that one motivating driving factor with me as my career continues, as I try to extend my career for as long as possible. It's like, what am I able to give up and sacrifice and not, maybe not just do in order to be here that much longer or get that extension or to, extend my career by this X amount of years. It goes from the littlest of things to the biggest of things, whether it's, literally gaining, I'm going to go to bed an extra, I'm going to go to bed an hour early tonight. It could be something as little as that, or I'm going to get in an extra 2 hours of film study this weekend, or I'm going to do an extra 2 laps around the football field for my conditioning or something. It's whatever the case may be, little, medium, big or small, it doesn't matter the amount of sacrifice. As long as you're sacrificing something, the end result is going to be in your favor.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by FKP MMA, Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit canadianclub.com today.
Give you everything that I got.
is Arlo Wells, one of their best. It's a great song for them called Ghost, and I cannot wait for their show with us. It's not until the new year. This is the second Friday in January. So January 12th at the Blue Light Studio in East Vancouver, Arlo Wells and the Kodiak. I'm going to play something new from the Kodiak later on in this podcast. If you've been to one of these shows, you know, right? If not, expect a night that you will not soon forget. As I interview the band, you do too. We've had people throw out songs and getting the band to play them, kind of, I guess, a request or whatever, which is super fun, of course, right? We capped the night at only 60 people. It's an intimate and interactive night. And for just $20 through eventbrite.ca, Eventbrite, BRITE.ca. Search Toddcast Podcast. You can't miss it. $25 if you want to gamble and wait for the door, although I think this one's going to sell out. $25 at the door. Doors are at 7. Shows at 8-ish. It'll go to about 10, 10:30, something like that. Played you a new song for Badmini, and that's a song called Black Widow. They are playing a Toddcast Blue Light Sessions next month as well. So we have the last Friday of every month next year to build, market, and host these nights. And on Friday, January 26th, at the Blue Light Studio, East Vancouver, you could see Brass Camel and Badmini. Same drill as what I just said for the Arlo Wells show. It's an interview, performance, and sick bands. I saw Brass Camel at the Wise Hall in East Vancouver, midpoint of last year. It was packed. And I think the place holds like 300 people. So you might want to grab a ticket as soon as they're on sale. 60 people should not be tough for these two bands. Again, $20 for all podcast shows through eventbrite.ca. So coming up in just a few minutes in Listen to This, K-Flay talks about some of the cool collaborations that she's done over the years. That is powered by 6-year sponsor Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. Kind of goes without saying, if you're in the need of anything RV related, use Tedco for RV service, repairs. Yes, they are ICBC accredited as well. Find them, of course, through their official website, tedcorvsupplies.com. They're also on Facebook and on Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, let's get back to more first concert stories, and this time you'll hear from a handful of our sporting guests, all of whom are powered by Hand Over Hand Textiles in Vancouver. Naturally dyed goods for your home, for your body, talking socks, dishcloths, scarves, pillowcases, shirts, bandanas, and a whole lot more. You'll love their work, top notch, and they only use pure plant extracts and natural fibers. It's a good time to place an order just in time for Christmas, for the tree hugger in your life. They are good for Mother Earth. Locally owned, check. Locally operated, check. Find them through handoverhandtextiles.com. They are also on Instagram. First concerts can be igniting longtime passions, creating lifelong memories. You got to admit, there's something about the thrill of live music and the crowd and the energy, the buzz, the start of a musical journey. Can you imagine life without live music, without seeing concerts? So former NHL coach Doug McLean started coaching at the University of New Brunswick in the 80s. He went on to be the assistant coach for the St. Louis Blues and the Washington Capitals. His first pro head coaching position was in 1990. He coached the Capitals' AHL affiliate, the Baltimore Skipjacks. Doug would eventually go on to coach the Panthers in the NHL, taking them to the Eastern Conference Championship in 1996, only to be swept by the Avalanche in the finals. Check out Doug's first concert story.
Oh, what was my first concert? Oh, my God. I think it might have been, my first conference, when I was doing my master's at the University of Western Ontario, and Canada Cup game was on. Really the big game where Lemieux and the big guys made the biggest play of the century on a goal. And I was leaving an Elton John concert at Maple Leaf Gardens with my wife during that game. And I'm thinking, every time I hear about the replay of that great play and that winning goal, I was at an Elton John concert at Maple Leaf Gardens. Like, seriously. Talk about the things you do for your wife, eh?
So we'll go from a former NHL coach to a retired MLB pitcher, Glendon Rusch. Now, Glendon was a lefty when he played with the Royals, the Mets, the Brewers, the Cubs, the Padres, the Rockies. And when he was a guest, he was the pitching coach for the Lake Elsinore Storm, who are part of the San Diego Padres organization.
My first concert was, believe it or not, my sister drove me all the way up to Vancouver to see Michael Jackson when I was in 6th grade. That was my very first concert I ever went to.
Right, because you grew up in Seattle.
Yes, grew up in Seattle. So, yeah, we made the trek up a couple hours. And I honestly wish I could have seen it probably when I was a little bit older because I loved it. I was very into it and impressed by it. But I think it would have been probably stuck in my memory a little more if I would have done it when I was a little older. But it was pretty awesome. Right.
Yeah, especially Michael Jackson, right? And like, okay, yeah. Well, way to set the bar out of the gate. I guess we got nothing but downhill from here.
Yeah, that kind of led me down the road of, I was kind of a little bit of pop and hip hop at a younger age, and then went straight into the rock, metal, grunge, alternative scene, and I'm still stuck in that one.
Transition now from a retired MLB pitcher to a Canadian Olympic snowboarder named Mercedes Nicoll. Now, you first saw Mercedes on the world stage back in 1999. This was at the World Cup in Whistler. She competed in the halfpipe and snowboard cross. She won bronze 3 years later in 2002. Mercedes won 8 World Cup medals in total, is a 5-time Canadian national champion, and has a great first concert story.
Oh, man. I remember, going down to Vancouver, and we were on one of the, I don't know, maybe it was Our Lady Peace or something like that. And then we had Nickelback come to Whistler when we had, a bowling alley, and we were all too young to actually go on the dance floor, so we were just cheering from these, picnic tables.
Playing? Sorry, what did you just say? Nickelback played a bowling alley? Is that what you said?
Yeah, in a bowling alley in Whistler.
What?
Yeah.
When was this?
That was before they were big.
Wow, man. Yeah, imagine them playing in a bowling alley today. Yeah.
It would be interesting.
And from a Canadian Olympic snowboarder to NPC Bikini Champion Nicole Cerrini. Through NicoleCerrini.com, she creates personalized health and wellness programs for your specific needs. She's also a registered nurse, a certified nutritionist. She has 2 bachelor degrees, one in nursing, the other in wellness, health promotion, and injury prevention.
Oh, geez, this is so odd. John Mayer was my first concert. Okay. Yes.
He's good.
Gosh, how old was I? I don't even remember. But it was really just because my cousin had an extra ticket. She's like, hey, let's go. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So
what still stands out from that night? Anything?
It was my first concert t-shirt that I still have. So
no idea, really nice.
Cool.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca. And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Kristen Flaherty, K-Flay, grew up just outside of Chicago. Her parents split up when she was young. Her dad passed away when she was just 14. She double majored in psychology and sociology at Stanford University, and you might hear it in her music, actually. Listen to the full interview. You'll hear she's super laid back. The music speaks for itself. Super unique. It's a great way to describe her music. We talked about the Grammy nominations, the hit singles, the amazing collaborations she's been involved in. Listen to this.
You know what's so funny about all of this? And I think when I, before I did music, I had no idea how anything worked, of course. And
yeah.
But so much of it is just like, I think people would be shocked at how casual so much of the behind the scenes on collaboration is, because most of it is just artist to artist, like texting, DMing, whatever.
Hey, you want to be on my song?
Cool. And you know what's funny about that Ex Ambassadors track? So Sam Harris, who's the lead singer of Ex Ambassadors, and been a friend of mine now for about 4 or 5 years. We were on the same label for many years.
Okay.
He FaceTimed me. I was actually in my friend's. This was like beginning COVID. I was in my friend's front yard, being like, "This is insane." We were doing these reading in the yard on Sundays at my friend's house.
Okay.
This is like early COVID.
Yeah, just to hang, yep.
Just to sort of cope with the chaos. And Sam FaceTimed me and he was like, "Dude, I wrote this thing and like Jordan's on it. Jordan's written some stuff and would you want to check it out? I think it could be awesome." And he sent it to me and I listened and I was like, "Oh, I love this." And that afternoon, I was, at this point in COVID, by the way, I had set up a studio at my friend's house in their dining room because they were out of town.
Okay. Nice.
And I was like at their house during the day, using it as a studio, and then coming home to my place at night. And I went over to their house. I wrote the verse, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, recorded it, and there you have it.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
What they came for.
Holy crap. That band is called The Kodiak, and a new song for them, new for the podcast. It's called Hide Howitzer, and don't snooze on getting tickets for this show. So next month, Friday, January 12th, again at Blue Light Studio, Arlo Wells and the band you just heard, The Kodiak. This is going to be one hell of a night. Two absolutely crushing bands, intimate, interactive. I think the people who make it, because we expect this one to sell out, those who get in are going to have their minds freaking blown. $20 right now through eventbrite.ca, and we'll see you there. Played you Brass Camel. That's an older track for those guys called Issues, and have those guys playing next month at the Blue Light Studio as well. As mentioned, on Friday, January 26th at the Blue Light Studio, East Vancouver, it's Brass Camel and Badmini. Can't wait to see how things look for that night of at Blue Light, because, I mean, they had a huge stage presence, Brass Camel, at the Wise Hall show I saw. And I mean, this room is it's much smaller. So I'm stoked for both bands, for the hang, just have some drinks and hang out and share some laughs and likely singing or clapping or stomping. You know, all of that stuff has been done at past Blue Light sessions. And believe me, you are absolutely going to love these podcast nights, narcissism aside, of course. Speaking of live music and what's going on beyond our shows, of course, you can find info for all of our Blue Light sessions and links to pre-buy tickets and that, but a smaller list of shows that are also happening locally beyond us with the indie scene at toddhancock.ca. If you're playing a show, if you're going to it, if it's indie, let me know about it. I'll post it up at the website, get you some free advertising, and maybe drop a song in the podcast as well. Okay, our final guests of this episode 319, First Concert Stories, and some of our entertainment and lifestyle guests, powered by Sacred Meds, Canada's best craft cannabis and psilocybin dispensary by a landslide. Yes, they ship anywhere in Canada. No, unfortunately, our friends outside of Canada and the States, or we get a lot of people listening in the UK as well. Unfortunately, we don't ship there because we're not allowed to. So, yeah, but you can, if you're in Canada, get oils and hash and all kinds of edibles and peyote and vapes and lollipop and shatter and bath bombs, and it's crazy. Whole bunch more. So at registry, mention you heard about them through this podcast. It will instantly upgrade your profile at their website, sacredmeds.com. You know, when you think about it, we only get so many firsts in life, and first concerts can be magical. Like the roar of the crowd and the dazzle of lights and the pyro. And again, for some people, it's the start of a lifelong love affair with live music. Do, Did, Will podcast host Brent Donnelly is one of those people. He's a longtime friend of the podcast. We go back I would say at least 20 years anyway. Really good buddy. He's been in my corner since, the Seafox days, which is now, almost 10 years gone. And then some. And with Brent's new venture, the Do, Did, Will podcast, every person has a story to tell. You either do something, did something, or will do something. It's the Story of People podcast, and Brent hopes to inspire when you listen.
The first ever concert I ever went to was the Monsters of Rock.
Wow.
With Metallica, Aerosmith, Black Crowes, and Warrant. So I was at that point like a hair metal guy.
Yeah.
So I was there. Yeah, I was kind of, well, I mean, the thing was with Metallica, it was on the Justice tour. So okay. I didn't have anybody introduce me to Metallica. So I went there going, oh, this is, they're too heavy, or it's going to be too heavy for me. Because that was sort of like, if it wasn't on Q107, it was too heavy.
Right.
Right. So it was like, I was going to see Aerosmith and Warrant.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, watching 50,000 people go, chant die. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Right. This is after Warrant had got booed off the stage. But it was the Black Crowes' first show in Toronto, so that was really cool.
And we'll go from the host of the Do, Did, Will podcast to health and wellness coach Irene J. Now, here's another longtime friend of the podcast. Check out irenej.com. You'll get a pretty good feeling of what she's all about. Truly inspiring, such a positive force online. One of my favorites, always pushing you to have a healthy relationship with your body. Listen to Irene's first concert story.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. It was Britney Spears.
Love it. And how old were you for that?
I think I was in the 4th grade. So what's that, like 9 years old, 10 years old?
Something like that.
9? Yeah.
Wow. And
felt really cool coming to the city, let me tell you.
what a story with her. And didn't it was like just in the last week or so that she got her life back. Her fucking dad's not in her life controlling her money anymore and shit. Like,
everyone was just chalking her up to be absolutely nuts, but man, I feel bad for her. Like,
how could you not feel bad for her?
And just like, she's just like an entertainment mule.
It's terrible, right? Like when you actually get into that story and the hashtag Free Britney, like if you haven't searched it out, people that are listening to this podcast, like go search out. I mean, now it's a bit of an older hashtag, but I'm sure you could still find stuff. Hashtag Free Britney is fucking eye-opening.
It's insane. I know. It's fucked up. It's actually really disgusting and quite telling of what that industry must have in their dark corners.
Oh, totally. I
Right?
mean, it's just head shaking for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Moving from a health and wellness coach to one of my early mentors, just a solid individual, Sound Off podcast host, Matt Cundill. Now, if you were lucky, you heard Matt on The Bear in Edmonton in the late 90s, early 2000s, just a staple of a good Canadian radio host. His show just had guts. It had grit. It truly spoke to you, pushed the right buttons along the way. And Matt's been podcasting for about as long as we have. I think it's about maybe 7-8 years now. Check out his website at soundoffpodcast.com. A true beauty in the industry. Nothing but great things to say about Matt.
Big Country, 1983, Ottawa Convention Center.
Wow. Big Country by Big Country. Did they have another song after that?
Well, Fields of Fire came out after that.
Right.
The albums were pretty good. Here was a Scottish band that didn't really take off in America. I do remember on Friday Night Videos, the video went up against ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man. It got killed on the phone voting.
Well, yeah, of course, the girls in that video.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and so they were, I guess, one of the bands that just, fell through and weren't completely understood. There's a band that was just a little bit ahead of their time. If there was more alternative and more new music on the radio back then, they would have been darlings of that format.
And from the host of the Sound Off podcast to comedian Von Decarlo, you'll know Von for a few key reasons. She's a funny comedian. She wrote the book Speak Fluent Man. Maybe it's from her web series Trash Talk with Von Decarlo. Maybe it's from hosting SiriusXM's NBA radio channel Coach Von's Corner, where she had on heavyweights like Bill Burr, Donnell Rawlings. These were the guests. Listen to her comment. This is great. When I asked her about first concerts.
My first concert that I attended?
Yeah.
First concert. Oh my God. I want to say it was like New Edition Bobby Brown tour or something like that. I can't remember.
Wow.
I feel like you're trying to indirectly ask me how old I am.
No, not at all.
My first concert was Marvin Gaye in 1972.
Exactly.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I wish I would have had these questions ahead of time because I have my memory's not that great.
Yeah, a little bit of searching through some cobwebs there, right?
Letting stuff go. Like, I just started filtering out my brain like an old computer or old storage bin. Like, hey, you're not using this stuff right here.
Right.
Throw it away.
You have got to go.
You don't have to remember this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Entertainment guest visits are powered by Sacred Meds, Canada's best craft cannabis and psilocybin dispensary. Visit sacredmeds.com.
can't wait. The countdown for their show has been on in my mind for the last couple of weeks. They are called Dead Quiet, and that's off their latest album called 4, and a cool song for them called The Hanging Man. So it's this Friday, December 8th, at the Rickshaw Theatre in East Vancouver, Ancients with Dead Quiet, Scalding, 1982. Tickets are through orangetickets.ca. Orangetickets.ca. Of course, Ancients. Deadly band. Dead Quiet has done a show with us in the past. Maybe you caught their night at the Railway when we were doing shows there. This is pre-COVID. They were freaking amazing. It's another really cool spot in Vancouver, the Railway, that's gone for now anyway. And what a disaster. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but from what I saw on social media, it was that, okay, the show's on. Nope, the show's off again. Hold this, it's on. The show's off again. I think it was for the Arlo Wells show that never did eventually happen. Anyway, had bands coming in from Calgary to play a show, can't get in for the doors to play with, no forewarning from the venue. Hey, heads up, we've been shut down, might not want to come and, waste the gas. Yikes. Anyway, I digress. One of my favorite bands is Dead Quiet here in Vancouver. And if you give them a chance, I bet you they'll creep up your top 20 as well. Dead Quiet playing this Friday at the Rickshaw Theatre in Vancouver. Mo and the crew doing a fantastic job booking that room as per usual. Looking forward to next week. You'll get highlights from the year that was 2023. It was a big year for us, and thank you for being there and being part of it. It was kind of a rebuild year for us as well. Since COVID, it's been a grinder year. It's been a fun year as well. Those Blue Light sessions at Blue Light Studio in East Vancouver have become such a big part of what we're doing with this podcast. Don't get me wrong, like this podcast, this actual weekly or whatever we do podcast is why those sessions exist. But it's great to be able to kind of get out and host events and, like I used to do in radio back in the day and kind of keep my chops up. So I guess it's a self-serving reason or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. Of course, wanted to give a big thanks to this week's guests as well. I always wonder what it would be like to be a guest of this podcast, because you get tagged on social media till eternity, a couple times a month, really, maybe more, forever, in perpetuity, because we basically look at our social media like they're radio stations. Lots of content, there's some commercials, and each podcast, interview, YouTube video, we think of that as a song on a radio station, and radio stations don't stop playing older music, right? Right. Hey, you do what you know, right? So let's put this one to bed. Episode 319, first concert stories. Appreciate you being there. I hope you like what you heard this week. They are sure fun to put together. A little bit more labor intensive than normal, but I think it's worth it at the end of the day. Once again, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the very end too. If you like what you heard, please tell your friends about us. We are part of the Realm.fm network. Check out those guys, Realm.fm. They have so many cool podcasts on that network. You can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Megaphone, SoundCloud, YouTube for all the videos, interviews, the live performances, whatnot. Comment and rate the podcast. It does help out. It helps with search results with the Google and Bing and whatever else you use. Huge thanks to all of our excellent sponsors. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, you can, for as little as $10 a day. Contact info is at the homepage. Maybe we'll have a beer and have a coffee or whatever and see what we can do together. And if you help us find a sponsor, we will give you a commission. If you got a business in mind, yeah, truly, hit us up on social media. We will follow up and give you a commission. All right? Till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun. Play hard. Most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
Do you ever watch a TV show set in a historical time period and think, how accurate is this really? But also, does it matter if it's accurate or not?
Nefertiti is a new podcast about shows set in ancient times. This season, we're recapping every episode of the show Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
I'm Ann Foster, and I have never seen this show before.
And I'm Gina Berry, and I have watched this show maybe too many times.
Join us every other Monday on the Nefertiti podcast as we discuss the real history behind Spartacus, Blood, and Sand.
Follow Nefertiti, that's NEFER-TV, wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you're going to love our podcast, Disney Countdown. Hi, I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And Biscuits, I'm Jeremy, aka Jarendell, and we are the hosts of the hit Disney podcast, Disney Countdown.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show, right, Jeremy?
Ooh, girl, you know we are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you are looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.